Hi, I'm Princess India, and these are whatever animal ears these are. And I'm here with your September mid-month special announcement. You are not grieving the loss of them. You are grieving the loss of who you wish they were. This has been a public service announcement. And the intro's coming right.
Why love superficially? We can go from hello to epitome, manifesting destinies.
Bananas in pajamas. I don't know why I'm singing that. Hi, Taurus. Are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are chasing teddy bears. Okay, I'm gonna stop this right now. Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your September mid-month reading. I hope that you found my little interlude video funny. I thought it was funny. Dagnabbit, son of a gun. I hope I didn't creep anybody out. Thought about that. I had to be dramatic. You know how, like, I always get, like, enthralled by that. Like, anytime, like, any YouTubers that I watch is, like, leaving YouTube, and I'm like, what? I love the way that you do makeup. What do you mean? And then it's like, I'm like 10 minutes into the video, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with anything. Freaking clickbait. Well, I clickbaited you. I mean, Duchess did a good job. Everybody's going to the beach with their dog. I mean, shouldn't it be cold in most other places? I mean, if you live in the southern hemisphere, is it hot there now? I don't know. Didn't do so well in geography in school. But anyway, welcome to your September mid-month reading. I am Princess India, here to do the thug thizzle for shizzle and the hizzle with the tarot whizzle. Really bad at this today. But anywho, we're doing a new spread, guys. So we're going to look at how Taurus is in their mental space, in their physical space, in their emotional and spiritual space. Then we're going to look at challenges that we're going to be dealing with from now until the beginning of October, you know. And then we're going to be looking at action steps that we can take going forward. And then I have 2 oracles for you at the end. One from my favorite oracle deck, and the other from my new oracle deck that is my new favorite because it's super bomb, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, everything that you need to know is in the description box below, as always. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, we're going to hop right into this thug fizzle for shizzle. We're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance. This, of course, is a general read. So anything that Taurians need to know from now going into October, anything that's of importance, you know what I'm saying? Anything that Taurus needs to know, please, Spirit. Please give us clear and direct guidance for my fellow Taurians, because Taurus is awesome. Even though we were the top of the bottom half of all of the views, Princess isn't going to be upset, and she's not going to rub it in their faces. We're not going to talk about the fact that Aquarius was like last every month, and suddenly they're first. We're not going to say that. Taurus. Just kidding. Let's go ahead and cut this deck, guys. All right. Put these little puppies out, and we're going to see what's going on for us for the end of September. Adjust my spectacles, you know. Get any stray hairs we got going on there. A lot of stray hairs going on there. Anywho, in our mental space, we have the King of Pentacles. Oh, that's good. We're feeling very stable. That's nice. Oh my gosh. In our physical space, we have the Star. So what's giving us hope, guys? And in our emotional, man, this is pretty freaking dope. In our emotional space, as well as our spiritual space, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, I also have to say, I'm looking at it from these perspectives, but if anything jumps out to me, and this happened with Scorpio, yeah, with these court cards here, there may be hope if there's either 2 earth sign people, which would be our Tauruses, our Virgos, and our Capricorns, right? One person, so this is like a relationship, whether you're like Taurus, male or female, you may or less been dealing with a person who's an air sign person, They may have a little Pisces going on. But aside from that, you've been focusing on your money if you're a Taurus male, right? If you're a Taurus female, you may have been kind of focusing on your money, but on the back end of things, but you've mostly been focused on your self-care, like taking care of yourself, kind of putting all of your energy and focus into yourself. So this could be in the arena of like spiritual growth, right? Or emotional healing, or just self-reflecting and just kind of bounce back and getting back in tune with yourself. And for Taurus males, I feel like for you guys, it's like maybe worrying about your finances, career, things along those lines. But even though this is not a love reading, for either one of you or both of you, if your two Tauruses dating each other, then there's hope. There's hope that your relationship could potentially be renewed, right? Now back to our general. So that's just a little caveat, just to let you know that. So if you were thinking about it, you felt it, this is confirmation. But anywho, so for my other Tauruses, we're a combination of all of this, right? I feel like in so many ways, the work that we've been putting in a mental space of just trying to get more strategic and more clear and wanting to actually see like the tangible results of actions, it's like we've been in that space. So kind of more or less putting your head down, not really so much being concerned with what's going on outside of you, but just kind of putting your head down and focusing on those things that are important to you. So whether that be your own personal development or your finances, right? Now, what I see in your environment, you guys may be getting little trickles of this coming in. So whether it's like the hope of, you know, a new offer job-wise, or, you know, like we said before, the repairing of a relationship, you know what I mean? It's more or less feeling like all of the hard work that you've done up to this point was not in vain, right? Because I kind of get the vibe of like a person, like say if you did like a whole ton of personal development. So you got a therapist, like you did the whole nine. You had a therapist, you had, I don't know, a life coach, you got a shaman, you know what I mean? It's like you got a bunch of degrees, you started working out, going to the gym, you started eating right, you know, you bought a house, saved for retirement, all of this stuff. So it's like you've spent a long amount of time like developing yourself, but you started kind of losing hope that you would ever find like a suitable counterpart to be with. And I feel like either you guys have already, and I'm leaning more towards have already, see a person in your midst that you finally think is like, and forgive me when I say this because I don't mean to be egotistical, but is on your level. Okay, not saying that anyone's better than anyone, but I'm just saying, as far as like the people that you're interested in, there's somebody in your space right now that's like renewing your hope in humanity of like, oh my gosh, there are people out there who care about themselves and their lives as much as me. Congratulations, Taurus. It's not something I resonate with. Anyway, going on to our challenges, we have the 10 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Cups. Ooh, that's interesting. And we have the 5 of Cups. Now, these are things that you guys are going to want to overcome or will be overcoming going into October. Now, these biggest challenges, like how I said, saving for retirement, it's the fact that you don't want to just make money to pay bills. It's like you guys literally want to like save for your lineage. Some of y'all as kids, y'all ain't even got yet. Hence the fact that y'all, you know, still looking for somebody to be with, but it's like that's your whole thing. You don't want to just pay bills. It's like you want to build wealth. You want to build abundance. So you want like a pretty decent nest egg. So for my single people who, and I mean it could be for people who are like together too, it's just your main focus is getting yourself like straight to where you actually have something to bring to the table to offer someone. And like I said, I don't see small duckies here, people. It's like y'all are legit trying to be wealthy, you know, like great grandchildren still living off your money on some stuff. But I mean, you're doing the right thing in the sense of you guys being in this, the mindset, which I think is pretty, you know, characteristic of us. It's just in a healthy way, we're like, no one else is going to do it, so I'm going to do it. So anything that we like to have, we don't mind working for it, because I feel like a lot of our value comes from our ability to work hard, and we like seeing that tangible evidence of the hard work, which is why we like nice stuff and food. Well, I don't really think that's a good excuse for why we like food. We just like food. Anyway, so next we have the Seven of Cups. So this is kind of letting me know that when this inspiration of hope comes in, to stay grounded, right? Because you don't want to get into this space where you end up becoming your own worst enemy, because now, since like the fog is kind of clearing and you're seeing the path to follow through, that you get kind of caught up in all of the options that you have. And I'm not going to pick on my Taurus men, okay? I'm just going to say this generally, so men and women. So it's kind of like when you pick your head up from working so hard and you're back in the dating game, then you start seeing all these options you got. Like you seeing a whole bunch of people that you feel like is on your level, and you're like, decisions. What should I choose? Don't get like that, okay? We're not doing that with people. So truthfully, and this is going to kind of ping on something that I did tell Pisces, which is where you may have Pisces in your chart, is learning how to weigh your decisions. Whenever you have a lot of options, it's one or two ways you can approach that. One side is just kind of taking a step back and kind of letting the duds fizzle out, right, over the course of time. Or you look at what it is that resonates with you. So it's like, if you let a little time pass and you're like, wow, all of these still look equally good, it's more or less saying, okay, which one of these like fill my soul, and not in a codependent sense, but what resonates with you the most, what's most practical, what's most logical, and what kind of fits into your framework of what it is that you see for your life. Because I'm pretty sure that's not something you have a problem with. And especially looking at this, for those of you who do, because this is in a challenge position, if there's those of you who are like, I heard workhorse. If you're like a workhorse and you are working to pay bills, this is more or less like a sign to let you guys know it's time to pick your head up to actually make a plan, right? Because you're in a place to where, the bare necessities and the basics are taken care of. So you have a roof over your head, there's food in your refrigerator, your bills are paid on time, but why? You know what I mean? So for those of you who haven't yet, it's time to start planning for the future, right? Because you have the know-how and the ability and the willingness to work towards something. But I feel for some of you guys, you don't really know what that is. So now it's time to start thinking about that. It's like, what is your highest vision for your life? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10, 20, and so on and so forth? Like, where do you really see yourself? And when you start to think about those things, remain very grounded. And look at, the tangible evidence of like your talents, gifts, abilities, and true heart's desires in order to make a decision of the path that you want to go on. So, I mean, if it's something as simple as, you want to lose 10 pounds or you want to purchase a home, it's like looking at the strategic action steps you want to take. Or even if it's, like a bigger, far reaching goal, it's looking at what control you have now that can put you in the direction of that, right? And we have the Five of Cups, and I said stay grounded. This to me says stay present, right? And we kind of talked about this in the beginning. No, I lied. This was mid-August. We talked about this in a general reading. I was saying how there was an opportunity that was being presented to Taurians. And the thing is, you were being kind of reluctant to step forward. And the reason why is because you were thinking past tense about every time it seemed like things were working out in your favor. And they ended up not working out, right? So it was the Nine of Wands that was in our mental space, right? So in our mental space, we're legit now, right? So that's not really clouding our thoughts, but the key is to not let these two energies work in cohesion, because if you allow yourself to get carried away with the possibilities, and it's almost like being like having so much freedom that you inadvertently put yourself into bondage. So it's like, information overload. Like there's so many different paths that you can take that it inadvertently ends up becoming like a blockage. So this would be like spirit has cleared the way, and now you have self-sabotaged by creating your own block by having too many options, right? So the thing is here, this can lead to this. So the key is to stay grounded, right? And to stay present, Do not think about what happened back then. We're looking at what's going on right now, because that's all that really matters. So the only thing that we're looking to the past for is any lessons that we learned back then that we can apply. So if you think about a similar situation in the past when you found yourself with a myriad of different options, it's like, how did you handle it? Did that work for you or did it not work for you? If it didn't work for you, do not apply that lesson to this, because that was not the lesson. The lesson was that you should not have applied that way. I hope that made sense. But anyway, so actions moving forward. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Didn't I talk about hard work? Now, this is something where what I get with this is, granted, we're really good at, and I said workhorse. That's so funny. So we're really good at working hard on stuff, right? But you want to make sure that you have an intention in everything that you're doing. And coupled with that, don't be afraid to allow other people to help you, right? Don't be afraid to reach out to someone who's a master of what it is you're trying to master. So say hypothetically, if we're talking about finances, if you know you are not good with money, then you might want to holler at your financial planner. Don't try to figure this stuff out on your own, or take a little finance class, get a Susie Orman book, or what's that other guy's name? I forgot the other dude's name. Dang, I really can't remember his name. But anyway, go talk to a financial guru. So that way you can work with someone that has mastered what it is you are trying to master. Be their apprentice, whatever that is, whether that's finances, saving for a house, going back to school, moving up in your career, or what have you. Now, this is another step that you can take that can prevent you against this, right? So getting clear on your plan, your strategy, what it is that you really want as an end goal. And here's a little trick that I can tell you about end goals, right? So whenever we set this, our little 10 of Pentacles end goal, so that's up here, right? So our end goal. Now, when we're thinking about where we want to ultimately go, this makes situations like this null and void if you follow Princess's advice, which is anytime you find yourself presented with options, think about your end goal and then ask yourself, is this in service of my end goal? So is this going to get me closer to my end goal, or is this a potential hindrance to my end goal? Is this going to take me a step back, or is this going to thrust me a step forward? If ever something that's offered to you is not in support of your overall end goal, then it's something that you need to piece out on, right? Because it could have you sitting up here like this, which shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? Missing out on opportunities and things that are more in alignment with you. So that's why it's so imperative, whether it's in the arena of self-awareness, why it's so imperative to know yourself, like knowing your strengths, weaknesses, and things of the sort, what you value, what you don't value, and then knowing overall what the bigger picture is. So that way you can kind of streamline your life of what you're doing from day to day. So this is incorporating people in who can help you master whatever it is that you are trying to master. Then we have the Justice card. So these are fair decisions. So this, like, literally, if you follow everything I've said up to this point, right, and taking these things into account, you're going to be able to make a fair decision in how it is that you decide to move forward. So you cut through all of the crap, you weigh things out, cut through the crap, and Ace of freaking Pentacles. And when this opportunity comes, you ain't gonna waste no time in taking it, babe, because you already know what's up. So you know if this is for you or if it's not for you. But the thing that I'm seeing is here, this is more or less like background information of what it is that's happening to us now. Like, I feel like the reason why you guys feel hopeful, why you guys are feeling abundant, is because you've done the work on both sides. You know what I mean? Whether it's in a mental sense, physical sense, emotional, spiritual sense, it's like we have stepped into that energetic level or frequency, whatever, that says, okay, I'm ready for my abundance. Okay? Give me my freaking 10 of Pentacles, dag nabbit son of a gun, not in the challenge position, right? So we've stepped into that energy, so we're being that. And this is the final little work that needs to be done to kind of wrap up these little loose ends. So when this opportunity comes in, we're already in the energy for it, and now we can just act. So this last step that needs to be taken before the manifestation or the tangible evidence of this new opportunity comes in is making sure that you get clear on what I want, where I'm going, knowing what the end goal is so that you can cut out all the extra fat and what not or whatever. staying present, staying grounded, and being very clear on me and willing to allow other people to help you to achieve this goal or master this opportunity. And from your seed, you shall get your 10 of Pentacles, Taurus, sir, and or madam. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know what that was about. Oh, God. I'm about to drop oracle cards everywhere. So, anywho, I hope that resonated. So we're going to do our 2 oracles. Dadgummit. I got a lot of stuff going on here. Don't judge me. So this is my new oracle deck. It's pretty. I love it. I think it's called, I always do this every time I get a new oracle deck. I always forget the name. Be the Light? Work Your Light? I think it's Work Your Light. But anywho, Spirit, is there any additional guidance that you can give to my Taurian peeps? Any actions they need to take, anything that they need to meditate on, anything that they need to know going forward into October and whatnot, or whatever. One card only, Spirit. One card only. I'm on one tonight, y'all. I need to get my life together. Well, this fell out. I probably shouldn't. I should probably take the one that fell out, huh? Let me not be cheeky, because you know I would be pulling oracle cards for days. And we're going to be fair. Dang it. All right, Spirit, let me get one card for Taurus. Any information that they need to know, any guidance you can give them, any additional things they need to be aware of as they go forward into October, please, Spirit. Clear and direct guidance as always. From the super duper awesome oracle deck, and it's this one, the one that I told everybody to get because it's awesome. This is like my favorite personal development deck. Clear and direct guidance, please. Get it. I thank you in advance. You know what I am saying and what's not, or whatever. Do. All right. So first card says, fill up your well. Retreat. Wait, I can't read it that way. Retreat, rest, and refuel. Think about what you're doing, boo thing. And I feel compelled to tell you this. Whenever you're giving to others, right? Or if you're giving to others, or even with your job, like if you're workhorsing it, you know what I mean? Always make sure that you don't give from your reserves, give from your overflow. So if you think of the Ace of Cups and you think about how the cup runneth over, give from your runneth over. Don't give from your actual cup, because you need what's in there, right? So if you've been doing that, fill her up, dag-nabbit son of a gun. Just saying. Ooh, insecurities. Story time. And that's your root chakra, by the way. So another message that I feel like I need to say is, if there is someone who works very, very hard as a Taurus, and they work very, very hard to make sure that they're financially stable, and may have a little hoardy energy going on, meaning the reason why you're trying to build wealth is because growing up as a kid, you really didn't have much, and your greatest fear is ending up back in that place where you have to tell yourself no, or you have to experience what it's like to not have again. Make sure that you check that, because that could be, well, I'm not going to say could be, it is, throwing your root chakra, can I talk right now? Root chakra off balance, right? Because that's like the foundational things of ourself, of ensuring that, before we move forward in any other form of development, we want to feel secure. So you want to make sure that you're not workhorsing it because you're trying to fill this void that isn't really there. You know what I mean? Out of fear. Because, when you're acting out of fear, tower situations, all that, you don't want all that. So anyway, story time. Okay, insecurity. Energy. Oh, wait. I have to do it like this. Okay. Wait, can you see it? Okay, I think you can. Wait. All right, there we go. All right. Energy turned within can lead to fear and stagnation. Courage is necessary if you are to be fearless and move forward. This is a message to grow up inside, into a greater energy, and to invoke courage from the angels to progress. So that's for those of you guys who may not know like if you're going forward, like what you're doing going forward. And in your mind, you want to see yourself as this abundant person and you want to have that wealth. It's rechecking those insecurities. So if we go back to that mid-August reading, and it's like when we had that 9 of Wands, it's like taking some time to look back to see where that comes from. So kind of like I said, there's a person out there who was poor growing up. Those are the kind of things that you want to be in check of, because when we talk about Taurus self-sabotaging, that's how we have a tendency to self-sabotage. It's those little, subconscious things that were like implanted, those little seeds that were planted in childhood and things of the sort, or even if we had a bad experience in our adolescence, teenage years, or adulthood. And it's like those little, shadow people thoughts that are existing in the background that end up sabotaging us because we're trying to prevent something from happening that's not actually a problem. So that would be our person who's trying to, and like I said, hoardy spirit. So this is a person who works a lot, has a lot of money, and is just stacking up money for this, hypothetical perceived day when they lose everything and thank God they'll have this nest egg. You know what I mean? And with that 4 of Pentacles energy, really, and it's like holding on to things too tightly, you will inadvertently cause what it is you're trying to prevent. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because it was never really an issue in the first place. You were just guarding against like a perceived fear. So make sure you keep those in check. But anyway, that has been your September mid-month reading, Taurus. I hope it has been helpful. I love your face. You're amazing because you're a Taurus. Don't tell the other signs that I said that. Sorry, cross watchers. If you're a Taurus, you can't cross watch your own reading. But can you still be a cross watcher for a Taurus if you're watching for another Taurus and you're a Taurus? I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.
Why live superficially